for joining the Australasian AMA. As usual, I will do a quick rundown of what Tectum is, the blockchain, and the Softnote. Any newcomers, for any newcomers, as well as it's always good just to refresh it and integrate it into our minds so that we all have a better understanding and can explain it with ease if we're ever explaining to friends or family or whoever else we're trying to get the message across to about this project. So I'll do a screen share here. So Tectum, the fastest blockchain in the world, how do we do that? There's a couple of things. So one is that we use our own proprietary technology, which is called proof of utility, as opposed to the standard proof of work or proof of stake that is most common, used by the majority of blockchains out there. Proof of utility allows for faster approval of a transaction. We also combine that with what's called hash drive technology. So rather than storing all of the information and clogging up the blockchain, we use a lower tier of the network whereby we archive information. We take a skeleton hash of the data that we're using from the native network, for example, Bitcoin or Doge, or whoever the other network is that we're transferring currency from. We take a hash skeleton of that information and then we store it on a lower level. What that does is it allows us to keep our upper level free so that the nodes can concentrate on keeping those transactions as fast as possible. To give you an idea of just how fast we are, the most people understand that Bitcoin transacts at around 7 transactions per second. Ethereum sit around 25. They're obviously trying to do things faster with their recent merge. The success of that is debatable. We've then got most people familiar with Ripple, who transact at around 1,500 transactions per second. USDT, Tether, that transacts on the Tron network at around 2,000 transactions per second. Solana came along and blew things out of the water with 29,000 transactions per second. They use proof of history, so a different consensus method again. Then you've got guys that were getting up into the 100, 300,000, like Phantom, for example, sitting at around 300,000 transactions per second. And then, of course, Tectum completely blown things out of the water and changing the game with over 1 million transactions per second. We did record at our peak performance. We got a test run out at about 1.38 events per second. 1.38 million rather events per second, but yeah, we comfortably sit over that million mark. So very, very fast. What that means is that when we do a transaction, it's basically instantaneous. If you've ever transferred something on your Tectum wallet to another Tectum wallet, within a second or two, it appears. It's just about live. So it is very, very fast. What that means for the retail sector is that when we're transacting on our blockchain, rather than sitting around and saying, oh, I've sent you some Bitcoin, it should be there in an hour or two, or maybe 20, this will actually show that you can stand there in store, transfer money across, and it's going to happen within a second or two. On top of that, that's the foundation that Tectum sits on, an ultra fast network. But what we're doing that is completely revolutionizing the system is we've got this product called a Softnote. Now, this is technically a fintech product rather than a blockchain product, but it's a fintech product that operates on the blockchain. So it can operate on the blockchain or off the blockchain. And what I mean by that is this Softnote will store value. So initially, the soft notes need to be minted, which many of our community have done now via our Telegram bot. Once it's been minted, it then needs to be either filled with liquidity or emitted. It's the same thing, just different term. And what that does is it loads Bitcoin onto, or TRX or USTD, and we've got Ethereum in the pipeline, and then Doge. So it loads the cryptocurrency onto this digital container. Once it's been filled with liquidity, we can then transfer this soft note peer-to-peer very quickly. We can send as an image this little QR code, which behaves similar to an NFT, can be sent via WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, text message, any messaging platform that allows you to send a photo. You can send a soft note image to the recipient. You can also send it as a link, literally just like a normal link to a web page. And the person on the receiving end will either scan the QR code or click on that link, and it will open up a Softnote web page whereby they'll be able to see the Softnote with the denomination. So these are all set out. This right here would be around, with current value, around 20 cents. But we have the denominations in alignment with the current fiat system. So, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1, $2, $5, $10, 20, 50, up to a $200 note in the standard green stripe pack. And once the recipient receives their image or they click on their link, the sender will have also given them a 6-digit passcode. They will enter the passcode into the web page, and it will self-generate a new passcode, which gives the recipient the new ownership. They are then have the ability to use that soft note however they see fit. So they could then transfer it peer-to-peer. They could go into a local retailer who is accepting soft notes. They could print it out and hand it over the counter, or they could give it as a gift in a birthday card, or whatever the case may be. That's what makes this an instantaneous and free transfer. So by sending this, it literally costs nothing. Instead of actually moving or creating a new block on the Bitcoin blockchain, we're taking the Bitcoin block, we've moved it over to the Tectum wallet, we've loaded the liquidity onto a soft note, and then now we can move that around however we like to without it actually costing anything, there being any fees associated with that. Now, how do we make it free? Why? Who are we to sit here and be able to transfer crypto around without any cost? How does a business operate? Well, the fees will come from the merchants. So anyone in retail or an online store or a commercial, for that instance, who decides to accept soft notes, they will be charged up to 1% merchant fee. Now, that is much cheaper than standard credit card providers who, 2, 3, sometimes up to 4 or 5%. So, and our promise is that we will always be cheaper than those guys. It will remain under that 1% mark. But that is how, as a business, we will operate. And what it also means for our users, when you mint these soft notes, it requires one at the moment. It requires one TET token to mint 100 pack of soft notes in the green stripe. Or if you're doing a larger bill, blue stripes will be, you could do $1,000 soft note, or you could do a 1 Bitcoin soft note, whatever you decide to do. And in that instance, it requires one TET token to mint. Now, at the moment, the TET tokens are at a value of $3 per TET token. And so then once you've minted the soft note pack or a single soft note, you will hold the minting license. After that, it needs to be filled with liquidity. So when you load the currency onto the soft note, there will also be a second license, the liquidity provider's license. Now, each of those licenses will receive 20% of the 1% merchant fee for that entire soft note's life. So as long as it's in circulation and out there being used in the retail environment or online purchasing, however it's being used, anytime that goes through a merchant and the 1% fee is charged, both the minter and liquidity provider of that soft note will receive a reward for having been an early adopter who minted and provided liquidity to the system. So that's pretty exciting. Obviously, something different to what anybody else is doing in the space. And this is all happening either off wallet if we're transferring it, in a paper form or an image form, or even if we're doing something on the Tectum blockchain, as we showed before, over 1 million transactions per second, extremely fast network. The other thing I wanted to speak to you guys about today, we have, as I mentioned, there is a pretty exciting announcement for this week. Some of you may or may not have seen on Facebook and our socials that we've got this big airdrop coming. So this is going to go live tomorrow. And what the airdrop entails, we are giving away 150,000 US dollars worth of TET tokens. So that's 50,000 TET tokens in total. There will be 1,500 winners, which will be broken down into, we'll have one jackpot prize winner who will win 1,000 TET tokens to the value of 3,000 US dollars. There will be a second place winner who will win 750 TET tokens, $2,100 in value. There'll then be 8 winners who win 450 TET tokens, and that'll be 1,350 US dollars in value. And then the remainder of the 1,500, there'll be 1,490 winners who can also access 30 TET, so around $90 in value. Now, what do you need to do to be in the running to win these? It's going to be a series of qualifying events whereby you can earn points or entries into the draw. So, for example, we'll ask you to follow us at Tectum Social on Twitter. There'll be an airdrop retweet to also retweet on Twitter. So these here you can see will earn you 2 entries into the draw. If you use our hashtags, which this will all be posted on our socials, you'll be able to follow this along. You will also receive 2 entries. Join the Discord community. Join the Telegram driven community on Telegram. Tectum driven community on Telegram. The Tectum Global community on Telegram. Share with your friends for extra points using the airdrop referral. So there will be a special referral code associated with the airdrop. Now, the more you share that around and people who create a wallet using that, you will receive 2 entries for every person who does that. Creating a Tectum wallet for those who don't already have a wallet, that will gain you 3 entries into the draw. Following Tectum on LinkedIn, another 2 entries, and entering using Facebook. So the actual airdrop to enter, you will fill out a form on Facebook, and that will get you 3 entries as well. So pretty exciting, guys. That's kicking off tomorrow, Friday the 21st. Yeah, we just want to spread the word as far as we can. As we mentioned in last week's AMA, we're really focusing on marketing now. So this is about, yeah, sure, it's for everyone to win and to reward the community, but we just want to spread this project as far and wide as we can. We need as many eyes to start seeing this and learning about the project, and obviously getting on board and buying tokens. Once we get this momentum and the tokens start to move at a rapid rate, it's going to propel us forward, so that it's going to give us a better opportunity to list onto Bitmart, onto the exchange, with a lot of kind of momentum behind us. So get on board with this, guys. It's a great opportunity. Everybody loves to win some free TED. It's literally like winning free money. So that's what's coming up starting tomorrow. We also, the developers, they are going to be completely reforming the Telegram bot, just to make it more user-friendly and more adaptable for the mobile app, which will be coming soon as well. So that's what the developers are working on at the moment. Alex will hopefully join us on the call a little bit later and dive a bit deeper into the metrics behind that and exactly what the plans are going forward. But just so that everybody knows, that's what the developers are working on right now, just improving the system and making that Telegram bot a lot more kind of user-friendly and interchangeable with other platforms and the like. Trevor, is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, you pretty much got it spot on there. Like that was a very good presentation and a great overview on the airdrop. So I actually nothing I can't really improve on that. Great job.
Sure, sure. Well, one thing I didn't actually share just now is that, which is something I like to remind us all of, is that globally, cryptocurrency and decentralized platforms are being rapidly accepted around the world. So Australia at the moment sitting around fourth with per capita, with over 22% of people now investing in crypto. Now, going back just 3 years, in 2019, that number was around 5 or 6%. So we can see that people are starting to realize that the Web3 space and a decentralized system is an important part of life going forward. With the rate of inflation and the control that the government has over the fiat system, it just makes so much sense for people to be adopting crypto and moving into the space. So there's a lot of people who are confused and scared and unsure about it. So make sure that you're helping to educate people wherever you can. If it's at a local dinner with friends, or or a barbecue or a cookout, depending where you are in the world and what you call that. But if the conversation arises, whether it's about Tectum or just crypto in general, sharing what you know often helps people just get more comfortable with the whole system, and explaining to them, how long you've been involved and the successes that you've seen and had, and how it is growing to a point where this is really a system that is power to the people. It's controlled by society rather than central banks and everything having to bypass essentially the government. Really, the government's own the banks in a roundabout way. So the it's good to see that, yeah, as I say, this is an Australasian AMA, but I know that we have people from all around the world. But in general, it is increasing now at a rapid rate with how many people are actually getting on board and starting to get more comfortable with it. But there's obviously still a long way to go. America, for example, obviously have a much higher population, but they're sitting at 13%. Uh, Ireland at 10%, but I know that the UK is under 10%. So just make sure that you're encouraging people to at least look into it, at least do some research. I know that there's some people who go, oh, it was they were unsure in the beginning. Is it all just a hoax? Is it a scam? Is it whatever the case might be? But it all comes down to education, and people will trust more from what they hear from their friends than what is they can just read on the internet, because there's so much stuff on the internet these days. So just bear in mind that don't keep things to yourself. Make sure that you're talking about these things and helping people to feel more comfortable.
Yeah,
So go
and
on.
just to sort of follow up on that. Um, it's definitely a lot of the third world countries. I mean, they're seeing the value in cryptocurrency at the minute because, simply put, their fiat currency is inflating away to where they can't make ends meet. Sri Lanka, I think, was one of the latest countries. The government collapsed. Their fiat currency collapsed, and when that happens, they have to put their trust into some way of commercing with one another, and cryptocurrency is the best way for it. But at the same time, if they want to transact with one another on on a smaller scale, just retail transactions, then native transaction fees is pretty rich. With the Bitcoin network, we're talking what, $5 a transaction when the congestion is low, or right up on $50-$60 a transaction when the congestion is high. And it leaves that the opportunity to utilize Bitcoin as a world currency is difficult because of the fees. And that's where Softnote comes in, because obviously what Brendan was saying, you've got Bitcoin minted into a Softnote. It's free and instant, and we only charge 1% to the merchant. And it's 1% no matter how small the transaction or how big the transaction. So it leaves that a lot of these poorer countries, they can transact with one another and they're not being robbed. 1% is pretty modest in order for them to conduct business. And we're now starting to see what they call the milkshake theory play out. And I forget the individual that came up with this, but a very, very smart individual. And basically, it's all currencies in the world right now are competing with one another, and no currency is pegged to gold, or the old gold standard that was abolished in 71 by Nixon. And since then, the dollar has been the king, and the dollar is in real big demand at the minute because the dollar is sucking the liquidity out of euros, out of yen, out of sterling pound, because they don't trust their native currency anymore. Because America prints dollars to buy dollars, to buy things denominated in dollars. Whereas somewhere like Argentina, they print their currency, but they're up against the dollar. And if the dollar gets strong, then their currency starts to inflate way too much. So America's in the unique perspective where they can print as much as they want, but eventually all other currencies will probably collapse. They always have. There's over 6,000 accounts of fiat currencies since time existed, and all of them have collapsed. In my lifetime, I'm 33. We've went through two currencies. We went through the Irish pound, and we're into the euro. My mother is in her 70s, and I think it was four. There was two currencies before my time. And the milkshake theory is coming into play because a few weeks ago, well, even a few months ago, the euro was starting to collapse. The euro was collapsing to where I forget what it was there. Like, it was almost 1 to 1, $1 for €1. And then a few weeks ago, it was the same with the pound sterling. The pound sterling, they thought they had it all under control. And the next thing was the pension funds were about to go bust. And the only way they could get out of that was printing more sterling notes. And because they've printed more sterling notes to try and keep the currency above water, they've managed to debase it to where I think the sterling against the euro, one sterling against $1 has been the closest it's ever been in over 100 years. So education is the key, and I've learned a lot about currencies over the last couple of years, and it's all playing out. What I heard 4 or 5 years ago is starting to play out, and cryptocurrency is going to be the way forward in some shape or form to try and bypass all this volatility with central banks. So it's just good to know that kind of thing moving forward, and that's what we're set ready for. That, the Softnote really is going to make any currency mintable, whether it's fiat or whether it's Bitcoin. It's whatever the people choose in order to conduct business with one another. So it's just a little bit of my 2 cents on the whole currency thing, what's going on at the minute there. So over to you, Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, great ad. That was fantastic. Guys, unless there's anything else, we'll open up the table to questions. Who has a question for us that they'd like answered? I think Andrew's got his eyes on the YouTube for us as well there. So anyone wants to post a question in the YouTube chat, by all means, please do. Yeah, and I said that there in the chat that India will be bigger market for crypto in the future. That's very true. And with such a an enormous population, the potential to spread it there is yeah, huge. Oh, it looks like our founder Alex is jumping on the call. So So Matthew has asked, can you talk about how Tectum speeds up on-chain Bitcoin transactions using its own Bitcoin node? Yeah, sure. Trevor, I'd say you're probably the best to answer in regards to the nodes.
Yeah, the nodes. Well, basically, it's a know-how that we've figured out and other people haven't figured out, and that's really down to the developers and the developers' knowledge. Um, Basically, when we were formulating this blockchain, it was all to do with distribution of information, and it still is. It still is there. Like the blockchain is very, very powerful, but we're just focusing in on one specific thing at the moment. But when it was being developed, it was all about distribution of information, remittance programs, that kind of thing. When the developers had got to that sort of magic 1 million mark, which they knew was possible, 1 million events per second, it was they decided, well, what do we do now? Um, and they decided to have a play with Bitcoin, and they just downloaded the node to see to see what they could do. And when they downloaded the nodes, started playing around with it, and upgraded or paired the Tectum node along with the Bitcoin node, they noticed that there was two phenomenons. And again, this is the know-how of them, but basically they were able to get one sub account to another sub account, which is a Tectum account to a Tectum account, and they figured out that they could push through a transaction under Bitcoin's constitution, almost instant and almost free. Um, they To verify the transaction on the blockchain, instead of taking anywhere between 10, 20, 30 minutes to verify it, it was coming through at between a quarter of a second and 1 second. So basically, by the time you refresh the Explorer page, the transaction was through. Not only that, the notice that it was, because it was going through so fast, the Bitcoin network, it didn't have to go through the entire network to verify. It only had to go through one node, two nodes beside it, and then everybody verified it and said, yeah, that's under our constitution, verify it. Because of that, because it was only a small amount of nodes that needed to verify it instead of all the Bitcoin nodes, then the proof of work concept was a lot lower. So much lower that it would only cost 11 cents in fees. Now, that's not a fee that we take. That's the fee that we give to the Bitcoin miners that are just simply saying, yes, that transaction is fully verified. Now, in the future, we are going to have our own margins on top of that. Probably in the next bull run, whenever there's another frenzy of people with Bitcoin, if the network itself charges $100, then we promise to be 80% cheaper at all times than the Bitcoin network, and that's our overhead fees. But right now we can push through a transaction at 11 cents and verified a quarter of the second. So phenomenal discovery by our team, and we haven't really bragged too much about it there. That's exciting in itself, and that does open up a partial retail market. But we felt that um, quicker, cheaper, and faster was pretty good compared to the Bitcoin network. But instant and free is always going to win, and instant and free is going to make mass adoption more possible than cheaper and faster. So that's kind of the overview of that, Matthew, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Nice.
it
Thanks.
does. I think the only thing I'm just trying to conceptualize is if you're offering a really small fee to the miners, does that mean that you just have to wait for one of them to decide to pick it up, to pick that on-chain transaction up in their block?
Yes, I
Because
believe so.
yeah, because you're sort of interacting with that fee market, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I believe so. That's kind of as deep as I can get with the technical side of it. But
Yeah, yeah,
but pretty
yeah.
much,
No
yeah.
worries.
I think Alex would know more about it there, but I think it's pretty much it goes into the meme pool, and for a Bitcoin miner, a normal transaction, they have to they have to take it out of the meme pool and then distribute that throughout the entire network, and then bring it back together to finish the transaction. And you're being verified by the entire network, um, which isn't needed just to verify a transaction from one person to another. I think for mining Bitcoins, yes, because it has to be proof of work that mimics gold, the way gold is mined out of the ground at the minute. But as soon as the gold is mined out of the ground, you don't need an entire network to verify that the gold's going from one hand to the other hand. You just needed to verify that the gold is actually there. So it's similar in with Bitcoin and Tectum. We've just figured out a way that you only need one or two nodes around you to say, okay, I know that you're telling the truth. It's under the Bitcoin constitution. We can verify this at 11 cents, and they don't have to use near as much computing power just to verify a transaction. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think it kind of makes sense. Like I'm still trying to get my head around it.
Me too.
Like I know, obviously, if you want to get a transaction immediately processed on chain, you have to offer a higher fee. But I think if you found a way around that, like that's huge. Like that's I think maybe it could even be promoted more heavily because it's just such an amazing. It's something that no one else is really doing.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like this is a real Bitcoin transaction. It's not really what like a custodial transaction that other companies are doing, where they hold a lot of Bitcoin and then just remit through a database. But yeah, it is pretty huge, and we never really pushed the marketing side of that. As I say, there the developers, as soon as they come up with an idea, they just go straight into it, and once it's finished, they go straight into the next idea. So it could be worth taking a note as well and trying to market that side of things as well as the soft note.
I think so, yeah, because I think potentially it's that's like a parallel scaling solution. That's probably equally as important, if not even more important than the Softnote product as well. Like it's probably undersold, I think, because I can't really say I fully understand it, but if it's doing that, like that's really impressive.
Yeah, well, funny. That was what caught my attention the very first time. When I was studying up on the blockchain, and they made claims that they could make a transaction at 11, 13 cents, and it was a quarter of a second verified. I was like, all right, well, if that is the case, then there is going to be a block to prove that. And they showed the blocks, the hashes of the block, and I entered it into the Explorer, and I was like, geez, that is true, and then even had a play with it myself, transacting from one wallet that I opened up to another wallet I opened up, and I could verify it as well. So as soon as I seen that part, it was fully verified on the blockchain on the Bitcoin Explorer. I was like, well, this is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer. No one's doing this at the minute. So that's how pretty much the what caught my attention with Tectum a few years ago. And I mean, ever since then, we've been really innovating since.
Yeah,
But
I was sort of the same because I mean, obviously, in the wallet, you move your BTC in there. And I was sort of looking at it, I'm like, oh, wow, that confirmed really quickly. Like, that's bizarre. Like, normally it would be, about a 10-minute block time for confirmation. So I started playing around and I was sort of, it confused me. Like, how is it confirming so fast? Because, like you say, you can see it on the Block Explorer. So it is happening, but like, how is it happening? I have no idea. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
trade secret. We'll NFT it and put it to the hype.
Yeah, that's it. Might be worth a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is pretty impressive. And any anybody that's really into Bitcoin, that really went into the depths of it and really fundamentally understand it. When we make this claim to them, what's very annoying is to say that it's not true. But what's even more annoying is the fact that they won't even do a bit of research in it. It's more the maxis of the space, they just say, no, it takes 10 minutes. Anything under 10 minutes is fake. And it's very frustrating because, as you say, Matthew, I mean, you had a play with it and verified it yourself and realized that, yeah, this is 100% truthful.
Yeah, well, that was why, like, I was exactly the same. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, it's impossible that it should be under 10 minutes. Like, it is impossible, but it happened. And it is confirmed. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You can see it happen there on chain, but like, I'm at a loss to explain how the hell, the wallet is actually making that interaction. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and let's not forget either, Bitcoin has only been around since 2009, so there's still much more innovation that can happen. When it first came out, I mean, you had to be very savvy in order to mine Bitcoin and keep your Bitcoin safe. Then people figured out, well, you can create wallets, a web version wallet to keep it safe. And then it's been innovating ever since. But it's very strange how they just get stuck on this particular point. They're like, they say that it's not possible. We've proven it's possible, but they won't even look into it. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. But look, that's it's their loss at the end of the day. I mean, if someone comes with an innovative technology and you're ignorant to it, then you're going to be left behind. And that's the way technology is these days. You either work with it and verify it, or you just sit on your own ignorance, and then what? No, there's no innovation happens. So
I think it would be worth doing like a bit of a like even if, you know, it's sort of proprietary, but it's like a bit of a deep dive, just sort of explaining like what, you know, what it does. Because I think, you know, it's like, you know, it's such a huge thing. It's so unbelievable. It seems almost like magic. Like, how can you do that? You know, it would be, yeah, I think it's an undersold aspect of the technology. And if more BTC maxis knew about it, it would be huge, you know. Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing. Like, yeah, I think congratulations to the team for sure.
It's a good point, Matthew, and it's something we'll bring up with our marketing team about putting the spotlight on it a little more. And we've actually been talking just this last week about going deeper into our proof of utility. So that's all encompassed within that. So I think we definitely, like you say, need to make some of the bigger guys aware of exactly what and how we're doing it.
That's the thing, and it'll only take one maxi that'll figure it out, and then once they figure it out, they'll all talk to one another there, and then the whole thing changes. But yeah, Brendan, that is right. I mean, we really should highlight that in the marketing campaign, because it was just one of those things. It was like 3FA and Grig Messenger, great products, and but when they were finished, we just moved on to the next thing, and we kind of forgot to really push the marketing side.
Yeah, absolutely. The devs just drive forward, which is a good thing as well. But yeah, we need to let the community know, and the broader community within the Web3 space as well. We've got Alex, our founder, who's joined the call, and he's going to just explain a little bit more about what's happening with the new Telegram bot rehash. So Alex, if you wanted to say a few words.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. If I never met somebody, and I actually am here to announce very, very cool thing we just came up with. We call it performance metrics. Brendan, would you mind if I turn screen share on?
No, absolutely. Please do.
Okay, just do it the right way. Okay. Well, what can you see, guys? Can you see that?
Yeah, you've got. Yep, we can see all of that.
Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I am going to send that link because it's live already. We just got it live literally like 15 minutes ago. Brendan, can I send it to your Telegram and you post it for
Yeah, do that. Sure.
For folks. Okay. It's a full statistics, and I'm gonna explain you one by one what they mean. Okay, let me. How can I get this? How can I remove this? Oh, okay, good. Okay, can you guys see it all?
Yep.
Okay, there is 22 line items. Okay, and it's being recorded. Please feel free to show it. Some of it is in a different language, but it will. I can do actually this one. Okay, good. The numbers are the same, formulas are the same. The down below line items, they have been calculated, which is a Telegram bot users total and active Telegram users. It just hasn't been implemented. Everything else is live. Guys, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we got ladies here. Okay, let's start. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, from a top bottom. Well, first of all, these are performance metrics of our entire system, and 22 line items is just the beginning. A. B. These statistics are in your user interface in your Tectum Wallet, available for everybody, updated on a second basis. Whoever of you, if any of you are in front of your computer, log into your just dial Tectum and Tectum Wallet, and you will see those stats in there. If they're not there, it's just system being updated. They're going to be there in like literally any minute. Now, let's start from the top. Hard cap. Easy to understand, right? Easy enough, so I don't have to explain. Current bounty balance, 927,000 Tectum tokens. Bounty is originally was represented by the 10% of the hard cap, which was 1 million. And as you can see, a little bit was given away already, has been given away. But there is a trick to it. When Tectum token is recycled, and which is a line item number 4, you see that? There is a 10,000 Tectum tokens already have been used to mint Softnote bills. And it's been only a week past. 10,297 Tectum tokens have been recycled. What does it mean? Recycled means that they came back to the minting account, which is ICO account. So they are ready to go back for sale. But the trick is that 10% of that volume is going to go to the bounty. So bounty is literally a share participant of 10% of the entire Tectum tokens cycling in the system. Which means if I use 100 Tectum tokens to mint 10,000 Softnote bills, 10 of those Tectum, 90 of those Tectum tokens will go back to this account, and 90%, and 10% will go to this account, to the bounty account, which basically makes bounty account perpetually refillable. It will never go zero. It will never become zero, which means we always, for the lifetime of the system, we will have an opportunity to reward our partners, to reward our influencers and our ambassadors with Tectum tokens for free as a gift, as a bounty. That's how our system works, folks. It's beautiful. Now, the next line item is distributed total. That's the exact number, how many Tectum tokens have been sold and or given away. That does not include bounty. With bounty, it would be 4.5 million. And understood, right? Now, recycled total. That's very, very important number. That's how many Tectum tokens our partners, all of us, in entirety, have used to mint Softnote bills. Well, you might want to ask, how many Softnote bills been minted? Please take a look. That's a line item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's line item number 10. 714,000 Softnote bills been minted to this day. That's incredible. I don't believe it. We're gonna hit 1 million probably next week. And you will probably, I mean, I would expect a question from you immediately. Well, how many of them been filled with liquidity, right? Well, it's the next line item, number 11, 1,801. That's how many Softnote bills been filled with liquidity today already. Well, you're gonna ask me next question. How much liquidity is in those 1,800 Softnote bills? That's line item number 12, 13, 14, 15. It's line item number 15. Total liquidity in Softnote system, $43,000 today. $43,000. And then you're gonna ask me next question. You're gonna say, "Well, Alex, hold on a second. 1,800 bills been filled with liquidity, and over 700 bills been minted. How much is potential liquidity? If all your Softnote bills are minted to the day, been filled with liquidity right here, right now, how much liquidity would that be? Please, line item number 19, potential liquidity in Softnote system, $20 million. The the system's been live for 1 week. 1 week. We're just looking at this and we're amazed. We're amazed how beautiful that is. And the next one is liquidity of an average Softnote bill. Well, that's an easy calculation. You take the entire liquidity of 43,000 and you divide it by 1,800, right? So the average liquidity of average Softnote bill in the system right here, right now is $24. Average liquidity. Total Softnote bill reward per cycle. Well, this one requires explanation. That means if all the Softnote bills filled with liquidity, which are currently in the system, which are not burned Softnote bills, not yesterday's Softnote bills, not minted Softnote bills, but filled with liquidity Softnote bills. If all of them take one cycle, which means they conduct one payment, paid payment, just like basically you take 1,800 Softnote bills, right? And you use all of them to make one payment each, just one payment. That's how much reward, or, well, like if I say real quality, whisper in your ear profit, the system will make $432. Obviously, if you divide it per average bill, then average bill will make 24 cents for one cycle. One cycle, average bill makes $0.25. And the beneficiary makes 20%, right? Well, 20% is 1/5. You divide 24 cents by 4, it's 4 cents, 4.5 cents, almost 5 cents. So minter, in average minter, will make 5 cents. What else didn't I mention? Well, this number is complicated and it's designed to show what Tectum token is really worth. Because Tectum token means 100 Softnote bills. Well, average Softnote bill is $41. Well, 100 Softnote bills is $4,100, right? So basically, one Tectum token generates $4,100 in liquidity. When that pack is filled with liquidity, it starts generating income or reward. What happens then? You take 1% of that $4,100 and you get what? We receive a number of $41.25. That's the real mathematical value of Tectum token, $41.25, guys and gals. And current Tectum value is just a proportionately calculated, estimated value of Tectum token, taking into consideration how many tokens have been sold. So it's basically 3,645, 3.6 million divided by 10 million. You get $15. So that's proportion of $15 is a proportion to $41 true value, true mathematical value, economical value of Tectum token in the same proportion as sold tokens against hard cap. Any questions? All yours.
That's amazing transparency. What an incredible share.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
we've been working on this for 3 weeks like crazy. Brendan, we've been working on this like crazy. We made so many errors and we had to jump over so many hoops, but we did not cut any corner. Originally, we had 14, 12, 10, 14, and 18 metrics, and now we got 22. When it's all said and done, we're probably gonna have 100, 120 metrics. Wow. Which will be, and they will be in graphs. They will be in Gantt diagrams, showing where the system is moving, showing what we're lacking, showing basically telling the guys, hey guys, stop minting $10 bills, start minting $2 bills because our system is lacking $2 bills.
Right.
But right now, this is sufficient for our partners and for our beloved early adapters to see that we have $20 million in potential liquidity, and that's the reality. There is nothing, I mean, there is nothing you can do about it. You cannot make it less, or you can make it small. You can argue with that. In the first 4 days of our system going live, our partners produced $43,000 in liquidity, poured it into the system. They minted over 700,000 Softnote bills and filled 1,800 of those bills in with liquidity. The amount of that liquidity equals $43,289, and the potential liquidity of the entire Softnote system, which means if somebody will take those 714,000 bills and fill them with liquidity, our system is going to be worth $20.5 million. It's perfect.
Mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing.
Mm.
And it's live. Yeah, so everybody can log in and take a look at everything right now. Well, probably within the next 20 minutes.
Thanks for sharing. Are there any questions off the back of that?
Guys, any questions? Any questions, please?
While you are here, Alex, we did have a question from Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Can Alex please talk about how Tectum is getting its own on-chain Bitcoin transactions prioritized in the Bitcoin meme pool with such small fees offered to miners?
Well, that's an easy, on the surface complicated question, but it really has an easy answer. A Bitcoin system works in a Bitcoin mempool. I mean, some of you know what mempool is, right? Which is basically a memory pool. It's a transactional pool which collects and holds all transactions before it gives it away to miners. When Bitcoin network must have mempool because their block time is very long, very high. It's about 10 minutes. So if you don't store those requests for transactions somewhere, they will be lost. You got to have a database. That's what mempool is. Well, mempool takes its cut, and mempool doesn't work for free. And by the way, mempool is a third party. It's a third party entity. If you didn't know that, and that's a first input. Second one, miners do not get paid the entire amount. B and C, when transactions, some background noise, when transaction is conducted within one Tectum node, that means that the overall balance of Bitcoin, which sits in that Tectum node, is not changing, which means less work for miners. It's like putting money from your left pocket to the right pocket. You got $1,000 in the left pocket. Well, you took $500 from your left pocket and you put $500 in your right pocket. Now you got $500 in each pocket. Well, you still have $1,000. You don't need to go to the bank to prove that. That's the same principle. Bitcoin network is obligated to process any transactions, and those transactions which don't require complicated calculations are charged less, and we just use that opportunity. And well, we had to change some components of, we had to adapt them to work of Tectum network, and basically our users of our network are paying, we call it so-called a dust fee, which is basically a minimal required by memory pool amount of Bitcoin just to cover the expenses of the network, just to post a transaction. And we can post stacks of them at the same time. The problem with posting stacks of them is the size of Bitcoin block is limited to 2 megabytes, which translates into about 1,800 transactions per block. So no matter how fast Tectum is, Bitcoin will not let more than 1,800 transactions per block. That's the only downfall. That's pretty much the only downfall we have with working with Bitcoin network. Otherwise, the system we designed to interact with Bitcoin network is basically flawless. Matthew, did I answer your question?
I think he said he had to run, but he asked, could someone ask that? He'll watch the recording.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, thank you, Alex. Anwar has a question. Anwar, if you want to unmute and ask your question.
Is from Alex. How you are calculating the current TT value $15.04? Please tell me again.
Are you talking about the average beneficiary reward per cycle? Number three?
No, the current TET value, $15.04.
Oh,
what is it? Line 9.
It's a equation of Tectum token distributed total versus hard cap equals current value versus its 1% value, which is $41.25. Let me write that formula, and you will.
It's a hard cap and total number of.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna send it to Brandon, and he will forward it to the chat.
Which the question that it was posted by admin earlier, but it was actually from YouTube, which this is in response to. Really, is what is the estimated or price predictions? And I said that he imagines around $40 to $50, which when it hits the market, who knows? I mean, it's very hard to predict, but the more obviously of our hard cap that's sold come time that we go to market, the higher that's going to be. And then it also depends on how the market is moving. If we enter into another bull run, then who knows? But at least this metric that Alex is about to share with us gives us a rough calculation that's at least an estimated projected value.
Yeah, I just dropped it in your. I just PM'd it to you. I just. Can you see it? Hold on a second. And can you just post it to guys? Well, right now.
Oh yeah, that's coming. Yeah. Yep. Cool.
And the current value, that's the value, is 15, which is $15. So it's basically 3.6 million divided by 10 million equals current value divided by $41.25. It's $15. Yeah, with pennies. It's a direct proportion. It's not a floating. It's not a sinusoidal value, sinusoidal calculation, because those calculations they are less difficult more difficult to calculate and more difficult to make common knowledge, because then you have to explain what is squares and all these high math values. But we're just using the value which is transparent, understandable, and clear to calculate, easy to calculate, which means you can take calculator and calculate it yourself, and you will receive the same value, $15.
That's great. Are there any other questions, guys, before we jump into our competition? Andrew, is there anything coming through on the YouTube chat?
Hello.
Oh, you got another question, Emma?
Yeah. My another question is how the winner of airdrop will be decided. It will be a lucky draw, yeah, decided
Correct.
From the other factors.
Yeah, so obviously, depending on how many of the activities you do, will determine how many entries you have into the draw, and then we'll use an electronic online draw, which will just choose at random those winners.
Basically, it will be a lucky draw.
Correct.
Okay.
Nothing coming through on YouTube. If there's no further questions, guys, I mean, that was a pretty incredible share from Alex, then yeah, we can jump into our competition. Feel free, Alex, if you're done with that screen share as well, to close that off.
Yes. If nobody has any questions.
Doesn't look like it. I did share the link, so
yeah.
everybody can go and check that out live now, and we will also post it in the Telegram group later on as well, so that
Yes.
you've got it
Yeah.
there for easy reference.
Yes. Okay. Stop and share screen. Stop and share. All good.
Thanks, Alex. That's really incredible.
Mm.
Okay, guys, what we are going to do with our competition, we have 5 questions again this week, each worth 10 TET for correct answer. The first correct answer, which needs to be posted in the chat. We will, as because there's a delay with YouTube, as I say the question, they will also be posted in the YouTube chat, so that then there's no advantage or disadvantage. That's fine, Alex. Thanks. I appreciate you joining. So yeah, we will kick things off, and as I say them, they will also be posted in the chat. So keep your eye there. Answer in the chat. Type them out as quickly as you can. So given that we have this big airdrop coming and we're focused all on marketing at the moment, the majority of these questions are based around that. So question 1, how much TET is available for the airdrop? What is the total value of TET? So Daniel got that correct. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Daniel. I haven't seen you on before. Make sure that you can either direct message myself just with your Tectum ID, your 4-digit Tectum ID, or if you don't have that handy, I mean, you can just jump on your wallet, but otherwise send through your email address associated with your Tectum wallet. You can do that at the end or now, whenever suits. So did we get an answer, Andrew, over on YouTube?
No, Daniel was first.
On YouTube as well?
No.
Yeah, so if you can let me know who won on YouTube.
It was Mitchell Oman, but he forgot 0 at the end.
He got the answer wrong?
He put 5,000, but he forgot to add 0 at the end.
So did somebody else get the correct answer?
Yeah, and Sundar also was right.
Sandra?
Sandra too, but she was second.
Yeah, but it's got to be the first correct answer. So if he said 5,000, unfortunately, that we've got to give it to the first correct answer.
Sundar was
First correct.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, guys, question number 2. When does the airdrop begin? When does the airdrop begin? Anwar got in first on the Zoom. Let me know when you get an answer on YouTube, Andrew.
Yeah, Hamid Ansari was right.
Who was that, sorry?
Hamid Ansari.
Oh, yeah. Great, Hamid. I'm glad he got in because he just there was a race last week and he just missed out. So that's good that he's won one there. Question number 3. How much in how much is the top prize dollar value? How much is the top prize in dollar value for the airdrop? Thanks for sharing that, Daniil. How much is
Can
the
you
first prize jackpot in dollar value? Yeah, you got a question, Emma?
repeat the question?
How much is the top prize of the airdrop in dollar value? What is the jackpot prize? How much will the first winner win? Correct. Anwar. How's it going on YouTube, Andrew? Did we get someone over there?
Yeah, Sandra got the right
Sandra.
answer.
Oh, sorry, Am, I was talking. What was that, Andrew? Who was the winner?
Sandra.
Did you say Anwar as well over on YouTube?
No, Sandra.
Oh, Sandra, I beg your pardon. Sorry,
Yeah,
Sandra.
Sandra.
Cool. Question number 4 is how many total winners for the airdrop? How many total winners? Anwar again on the Zoom. Well done, Anwar. That's 3 from 3 in a row.
Yeah, Hamid Ansari is right. So,
Hamid. Great.
Ansari.
Looks like we've got a battle over on YouTube between Sandra and Hamid. They're 2 apiece, 2 each. Last question, guys, which isn't about the airdrop. Something that we mentioned in this call, if you were paying attention, is what is Australia's current crypto adoption? What is Australia's current rate of adoption in crypto? It was on the graph that I shared, and I did speak to it. Nice one, Godfrey. Very good. Thanks for joining, Godfrey, as well. You are a new face on the AMA, so that's brilliant to have you. If you can let me know your Tectum wallet ID. There's a 4-digit wallet ID at the top of your wallet. If you can share that with me so that we can make sure we get you paid. How do we go on YouTube?
No one right answer yet.
No one's got the right answer yet.
Again, Hamid Ansari.
Hamid. Well
He was
done.
right.
Fantastic, guys. I have Daniil. I assume that's Sandra E, who's been playing along the last couple of weeks. Anwar, Hamid, I have all of your IDs from previous weeks. Godfrey, if you can just let me know either your Tectum ID or your email address associated with your Tectum wallet. And guys, we will get those prizes sent out to you within the next week. Our developers will airdrop them directly into your wallet. And one more opportunity, if anyone did have any other questions that arose, then feel free before we wrap things up. Nothing there.
Hello. Hello, Brandon.
Yes, Anwar, how can I help?
How much question I win for? I think 3.
Correct. Yes, you got 3 right this week, Anwar. Well done.
Hello.
So 30 TET will be
Okay,
deposited into
thanks.
your wallet.
Yeah, you have my mail ID.
Yes, yeah, I do because you've won before, so I've got you on our winners spreadsheet
Yeah. The
already.
last time I win only for 1 questions. Now I made it 3.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you,
okay.
Godfrey,
If
for
I
sharing
will
it.
have any problem, then I will contact you on Telegram.
Yeah, no stress. As I say, give it a few days to a week. I always send it through to the developers, but they've obviously got a lot going on, so they will definitely get it out to you. But yeah, you'll definitely have it before the next AMA.
Okay.
All right, guys, thanks for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are around the world. Keep an eye out for the airdrop tomorrow that will go live, and you will be able to register for it on Facebook and then follow all the prompts to get as many entries as you can. The contest will go for, I think it's 3 weeks in total. And as we say, yeah, there's 50,000 TET tokens,
Brandon, please listen.
$150,000 value. Yes, Anwar.
Airdrop is still not started. It will start by tomorrow.
That starts tomorrow. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I will try to win.
No doubt. I'm sure you'll be all over it. I love how much you've been sharing things already. So keep up the good work. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you soon.